Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining today to talk about the new automated business impact notification process. We're really excited. We think this is going to be a good step forward in being able to process everything through ServiceNow instead of all these outside manual processes. So I'm going to start kind of going through the different screens, screenshots, and talking about it, and then I'll do a live demo of it actually in the ServiceNow QA environment. So you can kind of see the flow of it and get an idea of what you're going to need to do. All right, so to get us started, today we have those impact checkboxes in the planning tab of our change form. So the only change we have going on there is that we've removed the potential impact checkbox. We really weren't seeing a lot of value out of those, and there was a lot of confusion about whether you send a business impact notification or not when it's just a potential, and there was a lot of subjectivity, so we kind of just said, it's not providing a lot of value, let's just get rid of it. So we're really only going to deal with where there's actually impact, whether the service is down, performance is degraded, error messages are popping up, whatever that happens to be. That's what we're going to use. So you'll either have technical impact, which is basically impacts IT only, or business impact, which actually impacts users. So actually, when we go into creating an outage record, so your ticket can be in any status. It doesn't matter what state you're in, whether you've just drafted it or you're in approval pending, but something to keep in mind is that at least 5 business days prior to your outage start, we're going to need you to create this outage record. So it's the same timeline as when our existing bins are due to us, because we do review those outages, make sure that the language is business appropriate before we send those out, and just make sure we're not sending duplicates or anything like that. We just kind of manage the system a little bit. So we just will request that you give us that little bit of extra timeline in there, and then we'll send it actually 3 business days prior. So to get started, once you're in your change record, you actually click into this gray title bar area, right click, and do a create outage. And if you do already have an outage record created for the change, it will kind of give you this quick pop-up message. Sometimes you might need 2 different business impact notifications for the same change, and that's okay. It's just trying to help you avoid a duplicate if someone on your team or something has already entered it. So this is what the outage record looks like. The configuration item is just taken from the change, and really it's not really kind of going to come into play quite yet for our outage records. So you don't really need to worry if it's exactly accurate for what your outage is actually fully covering. So mostly just ignore that field at this point. That we're going to kind of have some bigger plans down the road for how that's going to tie in. Basically, if you're creating an outage record from a change ticket, it's going to be a planned outage. We do have other outage records for incident. That's more of an unplanned outage, but that's going to be a separate topic. So basically, you just fill in your begin and end date. The duration is grayed out because it automatically calculates once you save your outage. And then it tells you what's the associated change number for this outage. Your short description should detail the impacted users and or sites. So that's basically the top box on the template as it exists today when we send it out. And then the description should detail your summary of impact. So like this one, for example, the impacted users are all SAP users, and then the summary of impact is basically SAP is going to be down for a maintenance window, call centers will be on BOSS, our usual message there. And then the distribution list, you actually, when you see the record, you would click this little padlock to unlock to get to what this next screen looks like. And so you can either select specific users, so it's basically any person within Consumers Energy, whether they're a contractor or an employee. If they have an Active Directory account, they'll be in here if you want to select that person. Or if you want to do a group, like this one is going to basically the entire company, all you would do is just enter the email address down here in this bottom box, and you do have to enter the full email address with the @cmsenergy.com for whatever group you're going to use, whether it's just a simple site group or whatever. You have to enter that full address, and then you'll click the little email icon here at the end to get it to select up into your distribution list.
Mandy, can
Yeah.
you add third-party emails in here?
Yep, you can put in whoever you want. Yep, as long it'll just validate that it looks like a real email address, so like an @ symbol and a dot something. So
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, because I know we sometimes send to like Suntel and some of our vendors and stuff like that too. So yep, you can pretty much enter anything. So once you've created your outage or distribution list, you just click update here at the end. Like I said, the duration will automatically calculate and it'll take you back to your change record, and you're pretty much done with it. That's all you have to do. So hopefully a little bit easier than what you have to do to kind of mess around and get these done today. You're not having to attach anything to your change ticket or send it to our PO box. So hopefully that will make things a little bit easier for everybody. We did put some logic into the change workflow so that, let's say you had marked one of those impact checkboxes, either the technical or like the actual business impact. It's gonna give you this error message that's shown here in pink if you try to move to approval pending but you don't have an outage record created, just to make sure we have that business impact notification going out to our customers. So here is what the bins look like that when they come out of ServiceNow. So very similar to what they look like today. We tried to just go with the same format and not really shake it up at this point. We did remove the special instructions, and so we just really have people inputting impacted users and summary of impact. The start date comes straight from your outage, that duration comes from your outage, and then it still refers you back to the same change ticket if it's needed. We did add in down here at the bottom, due to some feedback that we got on our current business impact notifications, that people want to know who it's sent to, because we blind copy all of the recipients so people don't do a reply to all and create that nightmare. So we did add this down here in gray. You'll see everyone that was in the distribution list that you completed when you fill out the outage record. But otherwise, the subject up here is pretty much the same as we send today. So no changes there, just a real high level summary. But please make sure you're getting those in, again, the 5 business days before, because we don't want to have to reject your change due to a missed business impact notification.
Is it really 5 business days or is it 5 days?
It's business days.
Okay.
Yep.
I heard some stuff before on another cab call that it was days, so I just wanted to clarify on that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So one of the nice features that we get also is, let's say we've sent our original notification and then something comes up, a storm or whatever, and we need to reschedule that change. So if you go into your outage record and adjust the begin and or the end date, ServiceNow will automatically send this reschedule notification. So it'll kind of highlight in red that it's got a new start date, possibly a different duration depending on what you've changed exactly, but it'll kind of mark it as a rescheduled bin, and it only sends this if we've sent the initial one. So if you create your initial outage record but it hasn't hit that 3-day send rule yet and you go in and update it, it's not going to send a reschedule. It's got some smarts built in there, but it is automatic, so we don't have to worry about contacting my team to get an updated bin out and all of that stuff.
How does this still require the contingency date stuff being in the description field before updating the actual outage?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to want it to match your change record. It doesn't tie together today, so you'd have to update kind of both records.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And for updating the other record, we would still have to contact the PO box?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So similar to reschedule, if you actually go in but this one's at the change level, so if you cancel your change ticket, it will automatically send a cancellation bin if you've sent your initial one. If you cancel it before the initial goes out, nothing happens. So I know we've gotten a lot of feedback of, especially like those weekend changes that get rescheduled or canceled. My team is not around to send the cancellation and then nobody knows it was canceled. So this is a great solution for that particular scenario too. For those people who routinely send out kind of the same bins over and over and over again, like the patching teams and some of the firewall stuff that we do, you can set up a template for your outages. And it's similar to how you set up a template for anything else, for a change or an incident or whatever. So you have your toggle template bar option with these 3 little dots at the top of your outage record. If you toggle that, you'll get this thing at the bottom here. And you can see, like, this is a template that I created for outages. So I can just click that and it'll autofill the fields for me that I've designated in my template. Or I can click the little plus button to create a new template. So just a time saver. You know, I know a lot of the patching stuff and all those things happen so often, and this should help people make sure that they're creating those good bins and not spending a lot of time on it either. Any questions before I get into the live demo part of it? Okay.
You're going to be impersonating me when you first open up that link, so if you need to.
That's fine. All right, I'm just opening up ServiceNow QA. And I already set up a change ticket, so we don't have to spend time during the demo getting that all set. So here I have a change ticket. I'm already in review state, so I have lots of stuff already filled out with it. But basically, we're just going to come up here, do our right click, create outage. Oh, hold on. There's always something. Okay. So we'll create our outage. So here's that outage form. Again, here's the little 3 dots to get to your toggle template bar if you wanted to create a new one or use an existing one that you had once you get it set up. But pretty similar to what you're used to for filling out changes and incidents. You just select your date. You can fill in the time down here. Use that to fill your end date. We're just going to go for an hour. Again, that duration is grayed out. It'll calculate for you. So fill in your impacted users and then full summary of impact. Use the little padlock to open up your distribution list. So if I wanted to send to an external, just to prove the point, Dan, I could send to my Gmail account, add that in, you can lock it back up. Once this email actually gets sent, the distribution list will be locked down. So if you need to add users to your business impact notification once it's already gone out, you will need to create another outage record. And just send it to those particular people. So once you're done, you would just click the update button. If you notice, the outage approved is not checked, so that's what my team will be responsible for. We'll be reviewing all of the submitted outages, and once we think it's good to go, we'll just go ahead and approve that outage, so this will update to actually being checked at that point.
Mandy?
Yeah.
This is Lori Post. So I'm wondering, what if you don't know the email distribution list?
Yeah, that's a requirement that we have to know the recipient list. That's even a requirement today. So you would have to know who the impacted users are.
Well, I mean on the bin today, I usually just put company-wide.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know the specific email distribution list like you had.
The All Exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can help you out with that, Lori, of what we usually put. When you say company-wide, we'll just give you, it's like the $ All Exchange users email address.
Okay.
Yeah, we can help you with that.
All right.
Mandy, well, I might have missed this at the beginning. The bin notification will get adjusted accordingly if you mark business impact or potential, right? And the outage record's still the same. You fill out the same for either situation.
Well, the potential's gone, so it's the same template all the time now. Yep. Yeah, the yellow template's gone.
So I just mean when you go into the change ticket and you mark potential, you'll still fill out the outage record the same either way.
No, potential is not even an option anymore. We've removed
Okay.
it.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So no potential impact checkbox, no potential template. That's all gone.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Hey, Mandy, can you scroll up a little bit?
Sure.
I might have missed this in the beginning.
No problem.
Because that field is called short description,
Oh, yep. This
but
one.
that is where impacted users need to go?
Yep, that's where your impacted users or sites.
Okay, I missed that, so it's not super intuitive unless you've heard this through the training.
No, and I was gonna put like a little hover educational help there, because that's what we have in the change ticket on a lot of these to help people kind of figure that out. I'll see if I can change the label, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to. I'll check with our developer and see if that's possible.
Okay, and same with the training from yesterday during lunch.
Mhm.
What else are you planning to do to communicate this? Is this your only avenue right now?
I'm gonna record it, and then next week we will be sending out the communication with all of the updated process documents. I'm gonna link to all of these training videos so that people can watch those. And then we do have a go live announcement, again, linking to all of our process documents and training videos. You know, pretty much directing to my team. If you have questions or need help, we can walk people through.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other questions about the outage form? That's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and simple, and hopefully will make all of our lives a little bit easier. One of the kind of down the road possibilities that we're looking into that we'd like to do is basically stop doing kind of the forced email notification to recipient lists that IT determines, and allow people to, out on our portal, show all of the services that we have available, or at least maybe top 10, top 20 critical services, and then subscribe to those services. So then when we have an outage, we can email the people who've said, I'm interested in this outage. That's one of the things that we're looking into. So creating these outage records is kind of our first step towards that bigger dream and vision of how this is going to work. So just a heads up, we're looking at that for 2019. Any other questions before we wrap up the session? Okay, great. Thank you for attending today, and reach out to me if you have any questions.